Welcome back. Mardi Gras is all about flashy colors of purple, green, and gold, channeling your most fun self, partying, and the best of all, eating the king cake.
Oh yeah, now king cakes are found around the world and take different forms, but perhaps the most common found here comes from New Orleans, and we've got Nicole here to tell us more. Hey!
Yeah.
Hey, I'm so happy to share a king cake from New Orleans with y'all.
Yeah,
We're
we're excited
excited
to have it.
too. So let's just talk about like what kind of got you interested in even making king cakes.
So I grew up in South Louisiana outside of New Orleans, and king cake was all over the place. You start eating it January 6th, and your king cake consumption goes up until Mardi Gras Day. There's actually charts on this. You can Google
Wow,
it.
you start in
Sounds like the
January and you
dream.
just
January
keep...
6th. Yep. It
Love
starts
it.
at like every few days, and then it's multiple times
it's
a day.
every day in this-
Yes, at school, parties, your
Everywhere.
house.
We need that diet.
Yes.
So-
We would look entirely different, but let's do it.
When I moved away for college, my aunt would send me one a day, or one a year, and my dad would send me one a year.
Oh.
And whenever I moved away after college, I was like, two is just not enough. So I decided to go on this mission to create a king cake.
Yes.
Most of them come out tasting like a cinnamon roll, which is not exactly what a king cake is.
Okay.
It was missing elements of nutmeg and lemon in addition to the cinnamon.
Ah.
Oh, okay. So go ahead. What?
So the other thing that I find is common that people do outside of there is they just take the log and they roll it into a circle instead of braiding it or twisting it. So
Okay.
that's what we're going to do
Oh,
today.
so you brought us...
Okay, cool.
Okay.
So we have the dough. So pretend like this was flat, and you
Okay.
put butter and then some cinnamon and nutmeg, and then you roll it up.
Yeah.
On the right, I have one that's not completely pinched off, so
Yeah.
you just pinch it to seal it.
Okay.
The reason why you really
Go ahead
want
and do that now?
Yep, do it
Okay.
now. The reason why you want to make sure it's sealed is because you will have leakage in the oven.
Okay, no leaky.
If you are worried about it sealing when you bake it, make sure you have like a rimmed baking sheet. Or else-
Okay.
I just lost half
And
of
you
mine.
lost half yours. Here, take some of mine.
We'll just push it together. We're not going to eat this one.
Right.
So just make sure so you don't have leakage in the oven because
Okay.
it can catch on fire. Do y'all know how to braid?
No.
I do.
All right. So,
Surprise, I don't.
so you have three in the middle.
'Kay.
And you start on one side or one outside. So we'll go on the right first. And you always go with the one on underneath. So then you cross the one on the left. And then always the underneath. So then you go outside in to the right, left. And then you just keep doing that. While I was on my king cake journey, one of the things I discovered besides the flavoring is most of them are what I consider like a classic king cake. It's made with brioche.
Ah.
Dough.
Okay, okay.
So as long as you have a good brioche dough recipe, you'll have a good texture. It's light, it's fluffy. The other thing is kind of the icing is a little bit tricky.
Okay.
So you have to have cornstarch, not cornstarch, corn syrup.
Corn syrup,
Is
okay.
one of the
Syrup.
keys for the texture.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
All right.
What makes a king cake unique?
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask.
So there's different kinds of king cake depending on the culture. New Orleans has a king cake that's based on like a brioche cinnamon roll with the nutmeg and
Lemon. Yeah.
Okay.
But like a true French one is more like a puff pastry with pastry cream on the middle.
Okay.
And it's just round and then it's a layer. So it's kind of more of a not savory, but it's not nearly as sweet as the New Orleans.
Okay, not like
Not
a
as sweet as
bread
this.
roll.
All right.
Okay, so
So-
once you're braided up,
Yeah, you just kind of circle it,
You
and then
circle it.
you
Do you pinch
You
it?
kind of pinch them together to make sure
Okay.
you don't have that leak, and then you would just let this rise. Whenever you're waiting for a rise, most recipes on bread will say let it double. That's not a real good indicator. One, because most of the time it needs to go more than double. Two, you don't always can tell when it's doubled.
Gotcha.
So if you would press it, if it comes back up almost all the way, that's when it's ready to go into the oven.
I
If
see.
it bounces back immediately, it needs to go longer.
Okay.
If it kind of flattens, it's too late. Like push it down and let it come back up.
okay.
Okay.
You
So
brought
there-
some different varieties here, and before we let you go, I would love to know what you brought for us today.
Yeah. So this one, they're the same ones. They're just
Decorated
decorated
differently.
a
Okay.
little
Okay.
differently.
Okay.
This one up here's a napkin. Is a dairy-free one. So if you have dietary restrictions, the best thing to do is find like a bread dough that you can eat and kind of go off of that.
Okay.
Awesome.
These two are the same.
Okay.
Do you have preference?
Sure, you can go for this one. Sure.
So the difference is people just kind of decorate them differently.
Okay.
So we got
You got sprinkles and stuff
we got
on this
sprinkles
one.
and
that one has the
right.
icing.
Some people do colored sugar on top. I find it's grainy, so I color the icing.
Okay,
Yeah.
nice.
I
Or
love it.
sprinkles.
How is it, Mac? I
Oh,
think
great.
So here we go.
I say it's crumbs just slip back into my throat.
Right as I asked you that, Mary
Sorry.
Gretchen.
Yeah,
And so
this
the
is
thing
awesome.
that distinguishes this from just being a cinnamon roll is that you've added this lemon and this nutmeg.
And
Correct.
I taste that.
yeah.
Yeah.
You can taste
Yeah.
that in there for sure.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for joining us
Yes,
and
thanks, Nicole.
Thanks
of-
for having us.
filling our studio with these amazing scents and flavors. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Did you give up on your braiding?
No, I realized I didn't start early enough, and now I don't know how to go reverse braid. So I'm going to work on that during the
Okay,
break.
that's a good idea.
Stay with us. We got more Good Day NWA coming up right after a quick break. Ah.
Holy
You can juggle, but you can't braid.